All right, welcome to Ace with Okwi. Hope you had a good day today. Hope everything is going on great with you. Excellent. Now, in on this program, we actually push past average to achieve clear success. This is where clarity meets action, and action produces results. And we grow by improving on those results daily. So, if you're ready, let's ace it together. My name is Okwi, the Wealth Maestro. This evening, we'll be looking at a particular story that a friend of mine sent to me. Her name is Ada. Ada was talking about herself in this story, and it's one that I feel a lot of us will connect with. So please permit me to read the story very quickly before I make my comments on it. It goes this way. When I met Kunle, I wasn't searching for love. I was searching for peace. My world was shaky, my confidence low. And here came this man who made everything feel stable again. He saw me, cared for me, covered me. I didn't really realize when his presence became my oxygen. He asked and will always say, I just want the best for you. And I believed him until his best started replacing my best. It began subtly, a comment here, a correction there. It didn't feel like anything because, as far as I'm concerned, he was my friend. He didn't like my friends. He didn't trust my new job. He didn't think I needed to go out as much. And each time I tried to explain, he would smile and say, it's for your good. I told myself, maybe this is what care looks like. Maybe love is supposed to feel safe, even if it's small. But lately, the air has felt heavier. I catch myself asking before deciding, asking before even thinking out loud. When I told Kunle I'd register for a business course, he paused for a moment and said, you are changing. I smiled and said, isn't that what growth means? He looked at me and said, you've forgotten who was there when no one else was. That sentence has been echoing in my head. I keep asking myself, am I really changing for better? Or am I just being ungrateful to the man who helped me stand when I could barely crawl? I don't know. I just know that somewhere along the line, I've stopped recognizing myself. And I can't tell if that's healing or if I'm disappearing. Does that sound familiar? When I read this, I had just one question on my mind. That question is, I asked it different ways. I said, at what point does dependency replace love? At what point does love begin to feel like emotional crutch? Where can we draw the line between gratitude and growth? You see, life is not actually very easy. So there are ups and downs in life. And sometimes life will knock you off in such a way that you will need someone to help you stand up again. And when that person comes, it's as if it's a breath of fresh air. It's as if salvation has finally arrived. But the issue with it is that most times we begin to lean too hard on the hand that pulled us up, right? And that hand that should just be a support for us to stand soon begins to turn into a crutch. Now, what is an emotional crutch? An emotional crutch is that thing, person, belief, whatever it is, that you are so dependent on, that your emotions is revolving around that person's approval. Did you get that? Yeah. When you are emotionally dependent on somebody, sometimes it's something, it's a belief, to the point that everything about your emotional life is now revolving around that person. Now, emotional crutch feels comfortable at the beginning because that was the hand that actually was there for you, right? That lady that came in and was staying with you when you were heartbroken, when you lost your mother or lost someone very special to you. Yeah, that guy who was like a knight in shining armor that was there when your heart was battered and brutalized, right? Yeah. At first, it looks as if it is good. It gives you the balance because you are going through a healing process. But the truth is that if it stays too long, what happens is that you begin to forget how to walk. Why? Because you now have a crutch, right? You know, a crutch that people that are having a painful limb or leg uses, right? Now, that is what happens in your emotion, that you forget to make decisions on your own. You start mistaking dependence for devotion. And when that happens, you don't just risk losing the relationship. The very first thing that you risk losing is yourself, right? Now, the truth is that people can love you and still form a limitation in your life. How? Okay, is that possible? Yes, very, very possible. People can love you and still form a limitation in your life. Does that mean that they are evil? No, they are not. The only challenge is that they've become so used to your presence and the level where you operate on that any little shift from that level will destabilize their own life. So, because of that, they want you to remain the way you are. But the life of excellence, as we promote on Ace with Okwi, says that there should be daily improvement in your life. So you are stuck in that place where in your head, growth is shouting, you need to move, you need to move. But because you found an emotional crutch, that crutch is saying you need to stay, you need to stay. And the question now is, which one would you listen to? Let me tell you very clearly that love that fears your independence isn't love at all. It is insecurity that is dressed up in love. As long as that person is scared of your growth, you need to be mindful of that person. You tell the person, I want to go do the next course. And the person is like, are you sure that is what you need to do? I want to register for a business. No, don't go into that. Sometimes it comes in form of an advice. I know someone who has tried that thing you want to do and the person failed. Hello, does that mean that I'm also going to fail? No. That could just be the person being insecure because you are about to grow. Real love celebrates your evolution. Even when that person feels uncomfortable, he celebrates you. He's like, go girl, you're doing it. Hey guy, that's my guy. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and get the next degree. Go ahead and improve on yourself. Right? She will be the one that will wake you up in the morning and say, hey, are you sure you are not late for this appointment that you have? You're not supposed to be in that office before 8. Why are you still in the bed? Yeah. So the question is, how do you handle an emotional crutch? Because I'm sure that a lot of persons listening, including Ada, are going through an emotional crutch right now. They are leaning too hard on someone, and the person is now determining everything that is happening in their lives. So I'm just going to give you some bits on what you need to do. The very first thing you need to do is to rediscover yourself. Rediscover yourself. Sit down with yourself and say, hey, I used to be someone before now. Who was I? Remember those things that made you tick. Those things that made you unique. Remember those things that made you fly. Remember those things that people will always say, wow, that's something good about you. That's a good starting point for you, right? By the time you rediscover yourself, there's one thing that it would give to you. It will give to you the belief to begin to learn how to walk again. Yeah. It will give you the belief so that you will now begin to see yourself in a different light. Because all you are using now is the lens of the person who you are dependent on. So you will need to begin to see yourself through your own lens. You need to begin to see yourself through who you truly are. But you can't do that until you get to rediscover who you are. That's the only time that you'll be able to do that. Right? So if you're listening right now, Ada, and any other person who feels, I feel that this love has turned into a cage for me. It keeps me safe, but it stops me from growing. Did you hear that? Yeah. The love feels like a cage. It keeps you safe, but it stops growth from happening. It means that it won't allow you become excellent. So you need to remember that it's okay to be grateful to someone who has played a good role in your life. Kunle, in the story that we are looking at today, is beginning to take advantage of the fact that he was the one that was there for Ada when she had no other person. So for everything Ada wants to do, Kunle reminds her of the past and where she's coming from. That is manipulative. That is so wrong. If you are in a relationship where you are being manipulated, hey, it's time for you to wake up. And you could be listening to this and you're saying, I think I'm seeing signs of this, but I'm not really sure if this is manipulation or the person is trying to help provide direction for my life. Hey, all you just need to do is drop me a line. Drop me a line. Tell me about yours so that we can look at it together and know if this is actually manipulation or that the person is trying to give you direction. But let me give you one sign that shows you if it is manipulation or if it is truly a direction. When it is direction, it is selfless. It is not about him. So you won't hear things like, I don't like ... I don't like XYZ. No. Instead, it will be, okay, this thing that you're doing, how does it make you feel? What if you look at it from this other angle? Have you checked this other angle? And you say, yes, I checked it also, and this is what I got out of it. And the person says, okay, look at it from this other side. By the time the person shows you all the views of that thing, then you'll be able to decide for yourself, this is what I want, or this is not what I want. Because you know the truth. The truth is that whether you decide to go with what you want or decide to go with what they want, you are the one that will face either the reward or the consequence. So why don't you make up your own mind for yourself? Right? Make sure you don't surrender your voice to anybody. No, don't do that. Excellence doesn't allow that. Excellence is that you own your voice, you hold your voice, and you speak for yourself. If you do well with it, you are celebrated. If you don't do well with it and you make mistakes, you learn. That's what life is about. That's why we say excellence is not about perfection. Would you make mistakes? Yes, you will. But let it be that they are your mistakes. Own them. But to bring balance to it, does it mean you should stop listening to people? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to know yourself first right? If you know yourself and know what you're looking for, every other suggestion people are giving to you will pass through the filter of who you are. So there are certain things you will hear and you go like, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. Yeah. And there are certain things you will hear, you go like, oh yeah, that's me. Or, wow, I never thought about that part of life and how it will work out for me. Do you understand that? So, the very first key to independence is that you first of all know yourself. That's the first key to true independence. Man, know thyself. If you don't know yourself, you will continue to go round on the opinions of others, and in doing that, you lose who you are. So, let me tell you something. Gratitude, because Ikule is now saying you're not being grateful for all that I've done for you. But do you know what? Gratitude will always honor the past. That's what it's meant to do. Honor the past. Thank you, you have helped me, right? But you should look at what protects the future. What is that? Growth. Growth is what protects the future. So, if you sacrifice your growth on the altar of gratitude, you will lose who you are. The life of excellence will be away from you, right? So, in wrapping up this, because my time is far gone, right? The hardest part of healing is learning to walk again. When life pushes you down and hits you so hard on the ground, standing up and walking again, you begin to second guess yourself. You begin to doubt who you are. Hey, but remember that your legs are not weak. The only thing is that it is doubt that is coming in. And because you are now used to being carried by that person, that's why you're feeling as if you're not going to move again, right? But growth will always feel ungrateful to those who prefer that you remain dependent. Whenever they see growth, they will say you're ungrateful. But you should never remain broken for life. Because being broken doesn't mean that you are loyal. No. It means that you're needy. Right? If that person's love is true, it will always adjust to your strength. It will always adjust to your strength. The new you will not be a surprise to the person. Why? Because that person is also growing. So your growth and his growth are in tandem. You're growing together. Right? So, if that person is not growing, that is when the person calls your own growth rebellion. So please, choose to walk. Don't settle for being carried. Even if your steps are shaky, it's okay. After some time, they will stabilize. Remember when you started walking, when you were 10 months, 11 months, 1 year, right? You will stand and you will fall. But what did you do? You continued until today. You can now run. You can now jump. You can now skip things. The same way it is with your emotions. When you fall, stand up and start trying again, right? The best person to need is not anybody but yourself. Because by the time you find yourself, you found every other person that you're looking for, right? So the beginning of clear excellence is that you will first of all discover yourself. And when you do, the people that helped you in the past and the growth that you're seeking in the future, they will meet. So that gratitude will meet growth and love will set you free, not keep you bound. All right? Fantastic. This has been Ace with Okwi, where excellence is a lifestyle. Until I come your way again on Wednesday by 8 p.m. Please make sure you don't miss that time. Keep growing, keep glowing, and keep achieving clear excellence. Make sure you drop me a line. Let me know what you feel about this episode. All right? Thank you. God bless you. Good night.